Today's day 5, Sunday, May 22nd. Today was a rest day, so I just hung out at the Maryhill State Park. Here's a screenshot of the Maryhill State Park, and this is Highway 97. It goes over the river into Biggs Junction in Oregon. And this is the Lewis and Clark Highway, and so I came down here on Saturday and came into the park. And now it was Sunday, and so I decided to go to a church service. And on the Google Maps, it shows this Maryhill Community Church up here. And so I thought, well, I'll go. It's Sunday. I'll go to the church service. So I rode out and then down on this, it's called Maryhill Highway. It's not really a highway, up to the church. But when I got there, there was no church service. All it was a historical church. Of course, the Google Maps doesn't show that it's only a historical church. And so then I rode back into the park and spent the rest of the day cleaning my bike, cleaning the chain, and just getting ready for the next day when I'd ride out. It was a nice park. I really liked it there. Later that day, another cyclist rode into camp. His name was Terry. Terry was also riding across country. It was really great having someone to talk to. Terry was riding east, the same direction I was going, and I was hoping that we could ride together. But then Terry told me that although he'd really enjoy riding with me, he was planning on going back to Biggs Junction on the other side of the river to use the Wi-Fi at the McDonald's. Terry had promised his daughter to keep her posted and wanted to update his daily blog. I told him I was planning to ride to Umatilla, which was 85 miles away, and Terry said he hadn't really trained enough to be able to ride that far, so he was only going to ride as far as Roosevelt, which was only 35 miles away. It was really fun to have somebody there with me in the camp, and I was hoping that somehow we'd be able to figure out how to ride together. Day 6, Monday, May 23rd. Maryhill State Park to Umatilla, Oregon. 85 miles with 2,683 feet of elevation gain. I didn't follow the adventure cycling map back up to Highway 14. The adventure cycling map takes you up Highway 97 to get to Highway 14, but Highway 97 is a very busy highway. It has very narrow shoulders, and it's a steep climb out of the gorge. A guy in the camp told me that there was a back road that I could take up to Highway 14. The name of the road is Maryhill Highway. But it's not really a highway. It's only a country road that goes through some orchards adjacent to Maryhill State Park. To get to the road that goes up to Highway 14, you take the Maryhill Highway going east until you come to the intersection, a crossroads, and that's Stonehenge Drive. And then you turn left on Stonehenge Drive to come up out of the gorge. And Stonehill Drive is steep, but there's no traffic. It was absolutely a beautiful ride. Near the top of the road is a life-size replica of Stonehenge. And here's a picture of Stonehenge. From the lookout near Stonehenge, I could see the snow-covered mountain of Mount Hood far in the west. There's a little bit better shot of Mount Hood. There's some clouds covering it, but you can see the snow peak coming up above the clouds there. And then I'm on the Washington side. The gorge is just over there, the Columbia River Gorge. There's a replica of Stonehenge. I had to ride way up to the top of this hill trying to get back to Highway 14. But this is what the landscape looks like. Not a lot of trees, just some grass, and cliffs, a lot of cliffs. And there's Mount Hood again. The terrain's turned into pretty much desert. You can see there's some scrub bushes, but the grass is all brown. At mile 34, the Riverview Mini Mart in Roosevelt, Washington was a welcome sight. The food was good. They had a notebook in which cyclists could record their names, hometown, and destination. I had planned to camp at Plymouth Park, but when I got there, the bugs and the insects were really bad. The park looked rather primitive, so I continued over the Interstate 82 bridge back into Oregon. If you're planning on going over the bridge, you can't get to the bike lane that goes across the bridge without first going through a tunnel that runs underneath I-82 and Highway 395. If you look on the map, you can see Engineers Road runs into a bike path that goes through a tunnel that runs underneath I-82 and Highway 395. After you go through the tunnel, you loop around to get onto the bridge. Then you get on the bike path. Once over the bridge, I rode into Umatilla RV Park and set up my tent.